Primero fue Soledad desde Uruguay, ahora Juan desde España. Estamos yendo un paso más allá, estamos yendo más lejos, y ahora estamos trayendo a Paul Mann desde China. Paul es VP del área de APL Logistics para Asia y viene por tercera vez a participar de este congreso. El tema logístico, el tema supply chain, obviamente es muy importante y tenía que ser parte de la agenda del día de hoy. Por favor, Paul, te invito a pasar adelante. Paul, welcome you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the organizers and the Latam's Retail CongresShop 2017 inviting me. Okay, on behalf of the company, we thank you. Okay. First of all, I would like to apologize that I will not be able to deliver my presentation in Spanish. I tried to use Chinese, but Pablo said, okay, you better stay with English. So here we go. This is the outline of my introduction of my presentation today. Okay, I will share some of the retail trend, and I believe Juan have already shared some of the retail trends already. So I will go a bit faster on the retail trend. I'm coming from Hong Kong. Okay, I work in China for the last 17 years. So I would like to share with the audience here something about China and the relationship with Latin America. Okay. And then I come back to the sourcing, because China is still a major sourcing locations for Latin America, for a lot of countries in this continent here. Okay. And then last but not least is look at what's the opportunities available in the supply chains. Okay. How can we improve and how can we win in this disruptive retail environment? First of all, I would like to share some of the data to you. Okay. These are some of the data, facts already. Back in 2003, less than 1% of the phone, are smartphones. I believe, my first smartphone that I acquired myself, is the iPhone number 1, which is back in 2007. There's only 10 years now. Apple just celebrated the 10th anniversary. Just a decade, only 15% of the world population have access to the internet. Now, it's over 50%. And 65% of the adults now using social network site. Nearly tenfold jumps in the last decade. And would you dare to imagine the growth of the Internet of Things, the IoT, from almost nothing to now 3.5 connected device per person. Everybody may have a smartphone, an iPad, or any other device that you can access to the Internet. So this is the background, what is happening in the world right now. Well, let me just 1 minute, to introduce ourselves. We are AP Logistics. We are a global supply chain logistics management company. We are focused in 4 verticals: automotive, consumer, industrial, but last but not least, of course, the retails. We are operating in 6 continents in the world, and we have over 7,000 employees around the world. We are part of the KWE group. Which is a Japanese company. It's a top 3PL company in Japan, and employ over 10,000 employees around the world, and is focused on air and ocean forwardings. Now, let me go into the retail trend. This slide shows you a comparison of 2006 and 2016, the market value of some of the companies, the retailers. And you can see, back in 2006, the biggest company, retailers in the world is Walmart, and with Target, Best Buy, this is the American retailers. And compared to 2016 right now, look at, this is a substantial, significant change of the market value of this company. Probably only Walmart be able to sustain, the market value after 10 years. All the other retailers, the traditional big box retailers to call, has been reduced significantly. Instead, a new company called Amazon has risen over almost like 2,000% of the last 10 years. And then another company, a Chinese company, okay, from a country that I work very close with, okay, Alibaba has become, okay, the second biggest retailers of the world right now. And if you add up all together, Amazon actually is bigger than all the other big box retailers add up all together. We're 355 billions of market values. And second will be Alibaba. So that's the retail environment right now. And what have been changed? And let's look at the retail example. Let's just look at the retail fashions. There are some changes on the consumer side, of course. Okay, the speed of innovations. Okay, some of the speakers already share with you. Okay, the fast fashions. Okay, the innovations. Okay, how to catch the market. Instead of we have 4 seasons. Okay, in the fashion world. Okay, now probably we have 13. Okay, or even longer. Okay, of seasons. Okay, every month. Okay, there's a new trends coming up. And how do you catch up with these innovations? And there's market volatilities and uncertainties. Okay, some of the markets will change overnight. Okay, because of the political reasons, because of economic reasons. Okay, and also the use of the multi-channels. Some of the speakers already share with you. Okay, they are the omni-channels. We have the e-commerce. Okay, and also the fresh sale. The Black Friday, the Cyber Monday, okay, all these are different channels you have to deal with, and the geographic differentiations. Okay, the companies are expanding around the world right now, but you have to recognize that the consumers are different in different markets. Levi's, the famous jeans they have is probably the Levi 501, but actually the Levi 501 is different. Okay, the design is a little bit different. Okay, in different markets. It's because the taste of the consumers are different in each of the market. The buttons are different. Okay, the design is a bit different. The fabrics will be a little bit different as well. Okay, and last but not least is also the social sustainabilities. Okay, some of the speakers already shared that the consumer is also concerned about the social responsibilities and sustainabilities. They care about where your raw material, where your cottons are grown. Okay. Are you using child laborers? Okay, also they're concerned about your carbon footprints as well. Okay? That's on the customer side. Okay, on the supply market. Okay, there's also the driving change on the raw materials. Okay, on the labor costs is increasing. Okay, China is still the biggest production country in the world, but at the same time, China also have a substantial rise of labor costs. I will share with you later on, what happening in China, and why that happens. And there's also triggers, the shift of the global sourcing. Instead of only China, now probably you heard about the T-shirts made in Vietnam, Bangladesh, and some other Southeast Asia countries as well. Okay, and there's all the changes happening, from both sides, from the consumer side and also from the supplier side. Triggers, there's a key driver change. And the consumer trend, like some of the topics already shared is that the digital everythings, the mobile commerce, or e-commerce. Okay, you do not need a physical place for display or buying anymore. The marketplace are different. The omni-channel, they are already mentioned. There will be infinite store form, endless aisles. You can add on new products, overnight. When there's something really hot or trendy, you can increase your sales place, overnight already. Instead of in a brick and mortars, retail store environment, you probably redesign your store every 2 weeks or every month. Things can change overnight. And also value driven, and then there are many others, value that you can create along, from return logistics, from label printings, and all these, for adding value to the products. at the last end is the consumer. The customer itself, okay, become a unique customers. The consumers will care about, okay, what is my product? What are you creating for me? How can I get my product faster? When I shop, okay, I'm individuals. Okay, how can you satisfy my need? So as a retailer, you are facing now, okay, all these different questions like fast fashions, product life cycle, okay, sustainability, as I mentioned about, okay, lead time compressions, social responsibilities, and also, okay, the product expertise, okay, sell-through rate, store fulfillments. All these are the new question marks, okay, on the retailer's head. I would call it a disruptive retail. It's the disruptive world right now in the retail. Now, but at the same time, people are trying to use big data. And because of the Internet of Things, the IoT, has fundamentally changed and bringing value to our environments. McKinsey was saying that, okay, in the next 10 years or so, okay, in the next 10 years, by 2025, every year, there will be around from 4 trillion to 11 trillion every years of value can create around in the 9 area. And probably there is 3 areas, I believe, okay, that will related to our retail. One is the factories by automating, okay, some of the manufacturing. Second is on the retail environments. The last speaker have already shared that, okay, there are automations of the retail supermarket. Okay, Amazon has sold it already. Amazon already also have and Alibaba also have it, okay, in China as well. Okay, and also on the logistics side. Okay, so that's all the saving generated. Then how can it enable it? There are 3 areas that I believe, okay, that enable, okay, the one is the ERP, the systems. Now, okay, how can the ERP systems be able to process the big data, okay, large quantity of data, analyzing the consumer behavior. And the consumer is more adapted to using technologies and also changing the lifestyle more conscious to the fashions and the trends, okay, and also the portfolio of using the technologies. Okay, because of the cost efficiency, the IoT big data and the cloud computing. These are the 3 enablers because of the technology change. And these changes, okay, will trigger the saving not only on the revenues but also on the cost saving as well. Okay, they will reduce the inventory because of the multi-channel. Probably you have to think about where you put your inventory instead of putting it out in the different distribution centers. Some people are now centralizing the inventories, okay, in one single place. So reducing the inventory by serving the customer better and also increasing the sales and also improve the working capitals. Okay. Some of the survey are also saying that over 35% of the respondents are saying that, okay, they're bringing increase of sale and also helping them to reduce costs. I'm going to share one of the case study, okay, by a fast fashion retailers. Okay, how can they make use of the big data and how can they analyze these data to help them to improve the productions and the sales performance. First of all, they're using the PDA, okay, a pad, okay, at the storefront. All the customer inquiry and sell, okay, are recorded, okay, on the pad. And these data, okay, are examined by the store managers every hours. And this data will be feedback to the systems, and they will be shared by a group of the designers and the prototype teams and the market analysts. Try to come up and analyze all this data and come up with a trend. When they see a trend, they will quickly, okay, go back to the manufacturers and the factories, and then they will select a certain products and try to catch the trend within a certain time limit. And they have flexible capacities for productions and selling in a smaller batch and send it to the market and try to catch the market before the trend is end. So these fast fashion retailers be able to make use of the data to improve the analysis of the consumer behavior, the like, and then using a flexible production capacities, be able to catch the trend so that they increase the sales, decrease the markdown, increase the working capitals. So this is a comparison of the traditional fashion retailers in the past. Okay, regularly they probably using this year like in Asia. Okay, we're just over the summer using this year data, try to project what the consumers, what the buyers will like. Okay, for the next years and design the next summer's fashions. Over 200 days. Now the world has changed. Okay, the fast response will be try to reduce it by 100 days. Okay, by reducing the planning. Okay, about fabrics. Okay, how can I make use of about fabrics? Okay, and sharing the fabric mills, then try to reduce it through some of the examples. Okay, fast fashions, fast to market, is they can do it within a month. So logistics has become a key enabler, okay, in this compressions of the lead times. I just share with you some of the news, okay, in the logistic world. Alibaba just announced, okay, a couple weeks ago, that is controlling the in-stake of its subsidiary called Cainiao, and is putting 15 billion in the global logistics. Amazon is building a 1.5 billion hub, okay, with its own cargo airlines. And also Amazon Prime, okay, you saw the video earlier, okay, has started launching in Mexico as well. Okay, so these are all the enablers, okay, to using logistics. Now, I'm going to share with you, okay, for China. Now, China still is as I said, okay, still a major sourcing locations for a lot of the Latin American countries and the rest of the world as well. Now, China has been growing very steadily in the last decade or so. Now, you can see from the graph here that this is the GDP growth. China GDP last year is around 11 trillion, okay, US dollars. The growth, okay, each year, okay, in the last 5 years or so is around 6 to 7% of the GDP. It's quite stable. Just the first quarter of 2017 is growing at around 6.9%. We probably forecast by the end of the year we're somewhere around 6.5. Now this is called the L shape. But compared to 10 years ago, China probably hitting the world as every year is a double-digit growth. On the right side of the screen, you can see, okay, I'm sharing with you some of the factors affecting the GDP growth. Back in 2007, the GDPs, okay, have 11% growth is a net trade. That means between the import and export, okay, China is more enjoying the 11% more on exporting, creating value. But now, okay, last year, 2016, the growth is actually at the consumptions and the domestic surface. The net growth, okay, has gone already. Now, that's not saying that, okay, China is not exporting. China is still exporting, but at the same time, they're buying more as well. It's balancing the trade between the two, import and export. They're buying a lot of the surface from outside, buying a lot of raw material and natural resources from the outside world as well. The second, okay, on the right side, okay, is focus more on the inland rather than the coastal area. Back in 2007, okay, it's 62%, okay, is the coastal area. And now, okay, 2016, the inland area has been, the inland growth has actually, okay, growth more than 10% in the 10 years times. Now, that also triggers why the labor costs increase, because some of the populations have moving back to the inland. all this labor costs, all this labor force, okay, originally producing at the coastal area, now actually return back to the inland. And that also created, okay, all these increase of the labor costs at the coast area. Now, I'm also saying that, now, if this is going, okay, inland, is China still producing? Yes, China is still producing. But instead of China want to concentrate on the labor-intensive industry, okay, it's more focused on the high value, the technologies industry. I mentioned about iPhone. Okay, a lot of the audience here probably still have an iPhone with them. Every single iPhone is still made in China. Every iPad made in China. And they have moved the productions from Shanghai or in Shenzhen to Chengdu in the middle of China, okay, or Chongqing. For the high value industry, okay, because they are high value, okay, they be able to solve the logistic issue by building a big airport, a good airport, okay, so that you can fly it out instead of using, okay, traditionally the oceans or the rail or the trucks. Last, okay, is of the rise of the surfacing industry, okay. Instead of 42%, okay, in the last 10 years, has grown to over 51%. Is the surfacing industry. So that's the background of China, what happening in the last 10 years. China, probably from the survey, okay, this is share from Deloitte, okay. The global manufacturing competitiveness index, probably it will lose the leading role, okay, in the next 5 years to some of the LCC, meaning the low-cost countries. The low-cost country like India, okay, Mexico, Vietnam, okay, it was not on the chart, okay, back in 2016, okay, Vietnam has rise 6th place, become the top 12 global manufacturing competitive countries. But on the other hand, China is quite mature in the logistics side. In the logistic performance indicators, China is still leading all these low-cost countries, from Malaysia to India to Thailand to Vietnam and Indonesia. Now, this logistic performance indicators measure how the ease of the customs, okay, your infrastructures, your shipments, okay, how your logistics will be arranged. The LPI index of China is still much higher than the other countries. A lot of the audience here probably heard about the One Belt, One Road initiative, or in short, it's called Belt and Road. Now, what is Belt and Road? At the first place, China came up with this idea about 5 years ago. It's the countermeasures of the TPP. Now, TPP was initiated by the 11 countries of the world, okay, and try to be the Trans-Pacific partnerships. And China was trying to react to that as, okay, where's my marketplace will be? So it go west, using what they call the Silk Road, or the 21st century maritime Silk Road Belt, okay, to try to go from China to Middle Asia, South Asia, Africa, and then to the Europe. As different from TPP, more concentrate on trade, is an emphasis on building the infrastructures. China has come up with the Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, putting out $100 billion of loan, lending for all these countries to building up infrastructures and promoting trade. China try to take a lead role in this initiative. If you look at the Belt and Road, the country involved along the way is 60% of the global populations, 29% of the world output, and there's a $2.1 trillion in GDP. So that is a big opportunities for China and all these countries on the Belt and Road initiative. And China itself, in order to sustain all this growth, has also putting a lot of money itself into its infrastructures. This is the slide to tell you that, okay, how China has been building its infrastructure in the last 5 years. As it has grown, okay, in the waterway, in the rail, and also in the highway. The train, okay, China probably have heard, okay, they have built up the new high-speed train. They completely new network of the railroad, building a new network for the high-speed train. They can travel more than 300 kilometers per hour, and then free up the train, okay, the train capacities for the general cargo, moving by rail. And then as you can see, okay, on the graph there, the rail actually connect to the Belt and Road Initiative, connect to the Russians and also to the Middle Asians. At the same time, China has reached out, okay, to the world to signing different free trade agreements. And they have already involved, okay, a few Latin American countries already. For instance, okay, Chile, Peru, Costa Rica, okay. Back in 2015, okay, at the communities of Latin America and Caribbean Sea, China has announced, okay, that it will put in 500 billion in the next 10 years of trade, okay, into these few countries. At the same time, okay, Latin America has become the third largest exporting countries, okay, for China as a destinations. So there's a lot of opportunities right now, okay, for Latin America and China. I come back on the sourcing. I mentioned already, okay, how do you compress the lead time is you can form alliances, okay, with your producer in your factories. By centralized locating where your raw material, okay, you're forming up your alliances with your fabric mills, okay, and on your vendors or productions, you'll be able to compress some of the times as well. Now, these are all the customers, okay, that has been practicing the raw material management, so that when the factories require the fabrics, they be able to centralize at the central place and do JIT, just-in-time delivery. At the same time, there's a sourcing switch. On the slide here, you can see, okay, that China has been reducing 7%, okay, in the past years to South Asia, Bangladesh, South Asia, and also to America. The sourcing managers are looking at new sourcing trend. In the mine, low cost is still probably the biggest factors they're looking at, but at the same time, a new factors they have to consider is the trade advantage by making use of the free trade agreements. 25% of the sourcing managers now have to make use of the trade advantage. But at the same time, you're sourcing at different locations right now. So there's a new chapters, a new lessons, okay, for the retailers right now have to consider is the trade management. The trade management considering whether, okay, the import license, okay, certificates, what exchange code you have to use, okay, where are you sourcing from? Are you fully utilizing the free trade agreements among all the sourcing countries and destinations that you are? So that's the TPP, okay, that I mentioned already. U.S. has withdrawn, okay, from TPP, okay, but at the same time, that opened up more opportunities for Latin American country to have a new trade area like Australia or Japan. Now I try to summarize, okay, what the opportunities will be. By opening up, okay, your supply chain, forming collaborations at the design stage, at productions, and buying at the production stage, at the planning stage, and the logistics distributions, and try to satisfy, okay, the online and offline sale, okay? And what you require is the high visibilities of your end-to-end and supply chain. In 3 areas that I have mentioned, one is the raw material management, one is where you got your inventory pooling. Where are you going to put your inventory? Is that a centralized inventory area? And last is the demand sensing, how you analyze your consumer's behavior and better predict your consumers' buying behavior. All in all, you put up together will become a control tower. And somebody, within your company, within the retailers, or your partners have to help you to manage the overall visibilities and flexibilities of this supply chain. This is my last slide. So in order to have the winning factors in this disruptive retail trend, I would recommend, you have a program that have the buy-in for all the stakeholders within your supply chains, from manufacturers, raw material, vendor, and logistics providers, and also ensure that information transparency and uniformity across all the stakeholders, using your technologies, your big data, how you share all this data. And last is to balance your short-term tactical deployments and your mid-term production planning. That's my presentations. Thank you very much. I'll be available outside. Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
Quien quiera conversar con Paul va a estar afuera 20 minutos. Además, quería invitarlos a quienes quieran ver parte de este contenido en algún medio, lo pueden ver en América Retail, sección Supply Chain.